Do you feel a bit lost when trying to decide what to buy for your garden online? Are you looking for good value gardening products online from Amazon, but only seem to end up with junk? Now, as you might know if you've seen my last video, I have made some terrible purchases online from Amazon, but I've also made some of my best purchases from them. Hi, I'm Valerie and welcome back to Now Gardening. Whether you're looking to set up a new garden or are simply looking for a gift idea for a gardening friend, today I'm going to tell you about my favorite gardening purchases that I've ever made on Amazon. I'll list them in the description down below if you're interested. No obligation to buy them whatsoever. Let's get into the video. I wanted to get into grow bag gardening, but everything that I was finding either online or in my local gardening store was just plasticky foreign made stuff or made from this like really cheap felt that was super flimsy. I wanted to make sure that my grow bags were not going to present any kind of health or environmental risk. So the research led me to these, and the brand is called Root Pouch. They are one of the top brands that provide professional growers, and I'm talking about nurseries, tree farms, etc., because the quality is incredible. These things are made from recycled plastic water bottles, which is a huge plus. I also use this for my shredder here. I can just slide it up underneath there, and that gives me all of my mulch. I also use this when I'm deadheading flowers and things and just kind of create my own little portable compost basket. At number 2, there's a lot of dust. These are pretty dirty right now. I used to run through gloves about once every couple of months because I would get these really thin ones that it just simply didn't hold up. In fact, this one, I've only got one of them because the other one has a hole in it. These gloves were like a good compromise. They have the leather here on the inside of the hand and on the fingertips, but then the rest of it is this like really soft fabric, and so it makes them really flexible. I will buy another pair of these when they eventually wear out. And on to number 3, and the product that has literally made my garden what it is today. I'm talking about my raised beds. These are galvanized steel raised beds, and they're made by a German company called Blumfeld. These are perfect for my small backyard garden, and they even have a trick for how to get the most out of your money. For my upper terrace here, I do like the high raised beds. Those come up to my waist, but I don't need that for my lower terrace here, because a lot of times I grow my taller crops like my tomatoes. When you assemble them as 2 layers and they're attached in the center. What I do is I actually take one layer and make one bed, and the second layer makes a second bed. I absolutely love my shelving units from Amazon. I say units because I have a little rolling cart that I roll in and out in the springtime, and actually even right now with seedlings and other plants so that they can get sun during the day. Very practical, super practical. It even has brakes. And then I have this shelf, although this one is in my garden cabin right now. Come March, this will be front and center in my living room, which is a south-facing window, and it'll be carrying all of my tomato seedlings and pepper seedlings as they grow. Now this is super sturdy, easy to put together, and lightweight, so it's easy to transport back and forth from my cabin to my house. My rolling cart and this storage shelf have both been great buys. I talked about this in my last video. This is the galvanized steel. Oh, I smell a stink bug. Oh, I just got a stink bug upset here. Anyway, I was talking about these in my last video. Now this is galvanized steel wire that is used as anti-mole, anti-vole, anti-burrowing animals, and you can put it under your raised beds to keep them from digging up into your raised beds and wreaking havoc in your garden. And I use this under all of my raised beds that are currently in my garden right now. And I have not had one single mole make it up under my bed. What's really interesting is in the winter and the spring, when the moles really get active here, you'll see they go all the way up to the edge of my raised bed. You'll see like a big mole hill, but then they never actually are able to get up into the raised bed. The one thing that I will say on the negative side is that you have to be very careful because it is a little bit sharp right here. So and it's so stiff that you have to be careful. It's best to use gloves when you're handling it. So I highly recommend this if you can get it on the Amazon in your country. And if this video is helpful, don't forget to share it with your gardening friends or family members that might be looking for gardening gift ideas. Who knows, you might end up with one of these under the Christmas tree. Now this won't seem like a gardening tool, and of course I use it for more than just gardening, but I'm talking about my Ninja blender. This thing is solid, it's heavy, it's made out of glass. So how do I use it for gardening specifically? If you guess composting, you would be right. I take large pieces of kitchen waste like the leaves from leeks, and I'll mix them up in the blender and then add them as a slurry to my compost. And speaking of composting, this Rio Temp compost thermometer is a must-have if you're going to get into hot composting. This thermometer is, I think, 24 inches. You can choose the size online depending on how deep your compost pile is going to be. I found it to be very accurate so far. And as a bonus, you feel like you've really accomplished something when you get your compost into that hot zone. I had an amazing garlic and onion harvest this year, and I attribute this success primarily to this, which is CZ Organic Garden brand of potassium, and this Burpee Organic Bone Meal. Now, I put the Burpee Bone Meal in when I was planting out the garlic last fall, and I put this product in about 2 months before the garlic was harvested, and between these two, I just had the best and most beautiful heads of garlic this year. As a bonus, the tomatoes that I planted with the onions as companions were actually my best producing tomatoes this year. Definitely recommend these two products. They're not very expensive either. Huge fan of these two. I'm gonna go back to something I mentioned in my last video, and that was about these white plastic food grade buckets. I'm not promoting this specific brand at all, but in general, white plastic food grade buckets are almost like a must to have in your gardening supplies. This one, I use it here. You can see I've been using it to mix soil. This one I've got over here has some stinging nettles that I'm storing in there. This one, oh God, that one has my comfrey fertilizer. I think the comfrey fertilizer is ready. That's the good news. Now at number 10, we had something that was such a game changer for me that I made an entire video about it, and that is my Novalinx photo carrying case, but I'm using it as a seed organizer. Before this, my seed organizing system was just a non-existent mess, and I spent more time looking for seeds than actually planting them. Let me just show you here what this looks like. So this is how it looks, and each one of these little things pops out. Take this one out to the garden with me, and when it's all done, I put the seed packets back in there and store it back in the box. If I have a lot of seed planting to do on a particular day, I can also just carry the entire thing outside. So huge fan of this. Game changer for my seed storing strategy, and who knows, could be a game changer for you as well. At number 12 is my handy dandy Bosch tool line, garden tool line, I should say. These are German made, and let me show you what they look like. My favorite one for the garden is this. I use it for assembling raised beds. I use it for reinforcing my no-dig area. I use it for drilling holes in those buckets that I showed you a few minutes ago. I also use it for drilling holes in my upcycled yogurt containers that I use for seed starting. The batteries are just rechargeable. They recharge pretty fast too, like within an hour. I do, in general, love the entire Bosch electric garden tool line. They are available in the UK and in Europe, although I don't believe they're available in the US. If this video has been helpful, you know what to do.